shall accomplish here this night, Mr. Nort? I'm sure.
Heather, are you watching that Max Steel mind poison again?
Yes, and it's not.
How can you say that it's not when the time you're wasting watching that could be spent watching something more thoughtful like this?
There are things that happen in quantum physics.
I don't want to watch that.
Heather, as your friend, I must insist that you fill your mind with more wholesome material if you want to.
I want to watch Max Steel!
Are you seriously going to have a tantrum over this?
Oh, this isn't a tantrum.
Oh God!
That's a tantrum.
It's alive!
Hello, my little subjects. Heather Blossom here, and you know, I'm just gonna say it now. I like to sing more than Zootopia. Heathenist, I know, but trust me, my opinion is solid. You see, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but I have a lot of children in my life. And I'm not talking like 2 or 3, I'm talking loud house levels of children. 7 nephews and 1 niece to be exact. And me being the ragingly popular icon I am, these children love me to bits, which is why I get asked to babysit them. A lot. And kids being kids, they like to take something nice and jam it down your throat with redundancy until all you can breathe is Moana and Troll dolls. So long story short, I've had to watch these 2 movies to the point where I could count how many whiskers Judy Hopps has on her face and ponder whether those popsicles are really sanitary. I mean, I would still eat it. Those 2 movies have their apparent similarities. We all know one is trying to cash off the other, and I don't need to specify which. And, alright, I'll say it, Zootopia is the more polished and carefully crafted movie. A lot more thought was put into its world, all the animals are made proportionally, yet every character is uniquely designed. Even the side ones, and they even thought of ways to accommodate every creature of every kind. But I have to wonder if that's where all the heart went. The world of Zootopia is what impresses me, and not much else. The story was alright, but I could see that twist from a mile away, and the characters were just kinda likable. That's it. I like them. I sure as heck don't love them, but they're not too bothersome, I guess. This might just be a me thing, but for me to really cherish a movie, I have to care about what's going on, and character is a big issue for me. I didn't relate to these characters. I'm not a happy-go-lucky go-getter or a misunderstood but clever con artist, and they don't do anything different, just what they're supposed to. I already know what their dynamic is, and they pull all the jokes that were expected. I suppose that's the overarching issue with this movie. I wasn't surprised, and I wasn't entertained. Sure, there are a few jokes that got me at first, but after a few watches, it all seemed stale. You could argue that Sing has these same flaws and then some, and you'd be right. It doesn't have the atmosphere that Zootopia does, its world is just the human world but with animals. And they reuse a lot of character models. You could look into the crowd at any point, pick an animal, and guaranteed you will find that same critter 5 more times throughout the movie. Heck, they might be wearing the same outfit. But I like to think the effort that didn't go into the environment and surrounding population went into the main cast and of course its main attraction, the singing. Unlike Zootopia, Sing has an ensemble cast, which makes it easier to have a favorite. If you don't like 1 or 2, don't worry, there's like 5 more to choose from, and a few notable side characters to boot. Most of the main characters do have unique designs, and I say most, not all. The Seth MacFarlane mouse falls in love with another mouse who looks exactly like him. Talk about taking egotism to a new level. I mean, gee, you couldn't make her a different color at least? And the porcupines all look the same to me. Is that racist to say? The point being, this movie gave me what I wanted. Character. Yes, they pander, yes, they use cliches, and yes, the plot was about as predictable as Zootopia's, if not more so, but I really cared about what was happening. I wanted Johnny to be able to sing and do what he loves. I wanted Rosita to get to express herself and have an identity outside of motherhood. I wanted to watch Mike be a complete jerk and still come out on top. Seriously, the guy is terrible. But having Seth MacFarlane as a voice actor, he's got quite the talent. In fact, I enjoyed most of the songs in this flick. Johnny's in particular were good enough for me to add to a playlist. It's got the obligatory pop covers, but those were kept to a minimum and weren't the worst things I'd ever heard. What does Zootopia have? Try anything? How about try again? Get it? Try? I'll stop. From a critical standpoint, Zootopia has a stronger foundation and hits the notes that they need to, but Sing hits the notes I like. Yeah, maybe that was their goal. Not to make a great movie, but something good enough that more people would like for shallow reasons. I'm allowed to be shallow sometimes. Face value still has value, and anything this movie didn't provide me with, I can find in fanfictions. Is it a guilty pleasure? No, because I sure as heck don't feel bad about liking it. This movie isn't hateful and doesn't spread a harmful message either. It's simple and nice. Maybe I could have spent my time watching something else that would have left me with food for thought or instilled a particularly deep emotion in me or something, but I didn't leave this movie as less of a person either, so no harm, no foul. And you don't have to feel all high and mighty for thinking Zootopia is a godsend either. It's Disney. Of course it's good. What was the last flop they had? Alright. Well, I'm Heather Blossom, and your furry OC is lame.